question. What strategies? Okay, just to give us a couple. I know you can't teach everything online right now. Maybe a couple so that people can begin to have hope. Maybe they start looking for you. What strategies did you employ to nurture and develop your children's intelligence from such an early stage? Then be able to also replicate it in other average people. I read up about you. You actually did do it with other seemingly average children, but you turned them into geniuses overnight. So can you share some of that with us?
Okay, it's not going to be overnight. Before you deliver the child, there are specific musical exposure that you must give your wife. Baroque music, classical music. It's before birth. Now, in the first year of existence, get a toy piano, toy one, plastic one. Get a toy flute. Get the older child that is 2 or 3 years older to play this instrument to the baby for the baby to see. The baby will now know that sound production coming from a string instrument, any string instrument. Sound production coming from the wind instrument. So you must be very heavy on music, because the neural pathway, the way the cells connect and interconnect in the brain, is severely affected if you expose that child to raw classical music. So this is why I'm so annoyed with the school system when they make music that learning takes place because of the neural wiring, neural network. And they know one thing that affects your logic is the neural network. Another thing that affects your memory is, again, music and the neural network. So today, I'm not saying you play music like the top musicians. No, I'm saying exposing that child to music early trains the brain cells in the logic of mathematics. I've done this severally. When they told me that a group of students, they are underperforming in maths, I didn't teach them maths. No, we put them on a string instrument program and put them on the wind instrument program and explain to them the genius principle. Without interaction with them, their grades went up after 9 months. The teachers came to tell me. So remember, it's the teachers that assess them, that work with. The teachers came to tell me that, oh, what is it that I did? Did I teach them any extra? And ask them, did I teach you? No. It's letting them fly. Because before you clip their wings, now you release their wings. So if you can get the music right, then you understand their methodology. You see, I showed you twins now. I have a set of twins. The way one twins learns is different from the way the other one learns. You must establish what that child likes and how he likes or she likes it. The school system gives 30 students in a class the same textbook. My heart bleeds. Why would you give all 30 the same textbook without finding out whether they are left-brained or right-brained? Very easy for you to find that out. If you give me a 6-month-old child, maximum 9-month-old baby, I can tell you, just observing the way the baby eats and the way the baby plays, I can tell you right now whether it's left-brained, that means very analytical, has eyes for details. You will see some children, when you come to their house, you put your phone down, before you know it, they picked up your phone. They've never met you before. They've never seen that phone before, but they picked up your phone. And what are they doing? They're already trying to access your data in your phone. Or their mother is cooking in the kitchen, they are watching their mother. As soon as their mother moves out, they move in. It's so easy for you to pick out the destiny of a child. So easy. Because they are raw, they are uninhibited. And don't impose your own on them. Discover what is in them. Remember, The central thesis here is that they were endowed. So Tiger Woods' father was able to find out this is what Tiger Woods is predisposed to, and then encouraged Tiger Woods and supported Tiger Woods. Serena Williams' father was able to find out what Serena and Venus Williams were interested in, and then encouraged them. But if you had made Serena Williams to play golf, there will be trouble. Or make Serena Williams to sing like Beyonce, then there will be trouble. You're putting a round peg in a square hole. So you before they go to school, establish their predispositions. There is something they like. You know there is something they like. When you tell them go to bed, they start crying. Why? They are doing what they like. This is the observation. Just look at children. They are born in the same house, eat the same food, from the same parents, but one would like to go and sit down and be trying to open that video recorder. Until you open the video recorder, it's not going to go anywhere. Meanwhile, the other one will watch cartoon. Meanwhile, the attention span of that one is only 20 minutes. When you give him remote control, he will still watch that cartoon all day Saturday. He won't go to the toilet. If you send him a message to do, no, daddy, I want to go to the toilet. No, he doesn't want to do it. That's why I still use it as an excuse. The formative signs and signals that these ones send to us, that we as parents, as uncles, fail to detect. And because we fail to detect it, we miss it. And they get frustrated because what they want to do, we're stopping them from doing it. What they don't want to do, we're imposing on them. So what do? We now have forced failures. They are not failures. If you allow them to flow in their area of gifts, they are not failures. They may be choreographers. But you don't want her to be a choreographer. You want her to be a doctor. Then you can see the conflict between the parental desire and the God-given gift.
Amazing.
And I've seen that.
Amazing. Well, guys, I hope you guys are paying attention. I think this is one of those pivotal podcast. Okay, he said something very fundamental because all of us love our kids. All of us want our kids to excel. And I'm trying to draw him out to actually share some of these. If somebody's done it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and then they challenge him that is because his children have special brains. And he said, no, give me a regular guy, even above a below average person. I can make them do the same. And then went ahead and did it. Because that's what I was reading in the papers. You better listen to what he's saying. The first thing he mentioned, he said, even before the baby is born, for those of you just getting married, I'm repeating him because his reception is very poor. I don't know where he's at. By the way, Prof, you may not know we are not receiving you well. Your stuff is grainy and all that, but I will repeat, don't worry. The man said, number 1, music, while your wife is still pregnant. It sounds like a joke, but I've read it somewhere too, but I didn't take it serious, that there's something about music. He said, when the child is also very young, before he even start talking, get a toy piano. And if you have an elder one in the house, an elder child to that person, to try to play the music, the piano. Apparently, there is some kind of neuro, whatever that gets awakened. If you listen to music, he didn't say go and play Olamide for him. He didn't say go and play Gbese. He said piano. Listen to him implement. Like they say in Yoruba language, you have to do the juju the way the talisman told you. Otherwise, the juju will not work. If you go and be playing Gbese and Burna Boy for your child, you're on your own. He said, piano. Buy a toy piano and let them be playing. I'm very serious here. I'm going to be an advocate. I have brothers who still have young ones. I have nieces. I have daughters that are going to. My daughter just got married. I'm glad I'm getting this. I'll be all over her. She's cool. I mean, she also did great in her college, but I want her child to pass high school at the age of 6. Why can she not? I will tell her, let me go buy the piano. Now, Grandpa, go buy that piano by myself when it's time. So use piano. And then he said you need to also pay attention to learn how each child learns. We don't pay attention. I didn't even know there's anything like that. But you are right. If you look at it, the way everybody learns is different. I wish I knew this. My first son doesn't like to read, but he can listen to anything, he can watch anything. So we are trying, but the school that they sent him to, he has to read. There was a time I was trying to get him to get into novels. I would take him to the bookstore along with the other kids. Tucker would jump at books. Michael will, but he doesn't want to read. He's very reluctant. So, Prof, you are correct. He will look for one excuse not to get that book. He will look for, but it never occurred to me that this is indicative of how this boy likes to learn. So instead of me going to buy audio books for him or buying him video training, I was forcing him. He did okay, but it probably could have been a big, because now that he's well grown, he's 37, 38 now, I see that this guy is over intelligent even, but his school records when he was like that 12, 14 wasn't impressive to me. I wanted him to be first. Yeah, he might come third, fourth, but I get upset. So guys, learn that. See, I'm repeating deliberately in case you guys didn't hear well on Gist House or Clubhouse or wherever you're watching this. 3 things that he has mentioned. Music is critical. Classic music especially. Play it when your wife is pregnant. Play it for the child when the child is early, very young, before even 9 months. Number 3, make sure you get a music instrument, especially a piano. Okay? He said for the older child to play it. He hasn't explained why that should be older child. I'm going to ask him in a minute. But if you have an older child, maybe you've had the first child, it's your second child, get the first one to play that piano for the baby. And then learn, take time to study. Maybe you have to do research because you can't give us everything on air now. How to discover the learning pattern of your child. That is very critical into helping them grow. A child that likes to listen to audio is not likely to learn as well if you put text in front of him. The one that likes text, just like now, me, I don't like learning through video. For instance, even till now, I like to read. So sometimes when I buy courses, I want to transcribe it to text because I have to read it with my 2 eyes before I will believe it, before I can follow it. Okay? So some people, text bores them. They don't want to read text. Thank you so much, Prof, for sharing that. Before we move to the next question, I wanted to clarify, sir. Okay? It looks like Prof is engaged, but I want to clarify if possible. Is there a reason why you recommended the older child to be the one trying to play the piano to the younger child? Is there any, or just anybody? Because I had to say it twice. The older child, I thought maybe that might be significant. Go ahead, sir.
It is called peer learning and peer inspiration. If you have somebody that is 5 years older than you, the way you relate to the person is different from when the person is 2 or 3 years older than you. So if it's your first child, therefore there is no older child in the house, go and look for a cousin. Go and look for a nephew. Go and look for a niece. Let them come and meet them during their birthday. You will see that the way your first child will interact with their niece or nephew is different from the way they interact with you, the adult. And it's different from the way they will interact with your neighbors. Because they have the confidence of you of not being judgmental. It's called peer. This is scientifically proven that you will learn more from your peers than you learn from your professors and from your parents. Please write this down. If you forget everything I said today, you will learn more from your peers than your parents or your professors. A professor will come to the class, face the wall, and lecture for 2 hours. You won't know what he said. Then when you meet somebody that is just a year ahead of you in the same course, you ask him, you say, oh, don't listen to that professor. That's how he talks. But he will tell you everything the professor said and make you understand it in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, you listen for 2 hours to the professor who is a double PhD, a double DSc, has written all the books. But when it comes to communicating it in a non-vocabulary way, the professor falls down. But your brother, your sister, that will tell you, look, this is the reader they read last year. It's the 15th edition. Your own is the 16th edition. Here is how you navigate it. You will find out that you follow your brother, you score the highest marks. But if you follow your teacher, you fail. So peer-based learning must start at very young age so that that child connects with their peers and learns from their peers. I almost said I'm done.
Wow. Thank
We're
you.
waking up.
Peer-based learning. Yeah, that's number 4, guys. We are going to draw everything out of Prof tonight. Before I even go to the main reason, he thought he was coming to my show. We're supposed to be talking AI. But this part, I think, is more beneficial to more people than the few of us that are doing AI. Because when I was digging into him and I saw that this area has helped literally hundreds of thousands of children in Europe, I felt we are going to go over this one today again. I don't care if he's tired of talking about it. Today we talk about it because it can save a lot of lives. Peer learning. And you are right, sir. Some of us are getting this. I didn't even know that that's what happened with my daughter. My daughter had written a book at the age of 13, okay, by herself when she was 13 years old. That was 2 years ago. She wrote her first novel called Shattered Windows, okay? So, and I'm trying to encourage her to now do the second book. I was so proud of her. I was so excited. We published it on Amazon for her, and she made some massive sales. When I gave her the money, she didn't even know what the value of that money was. It was too much. So now I'm trying to encourage her that, hey, maybe this is this person's direction, okay? If she can be a celebrated author before she's 20, as her life might be set, she might not even need me. But I realized that I was having a challenge. She started writing that second one, but she was now struggling with, because I when, and I think I made a mistake when she told me when she had finished the book. I didn't know she was writing a book. I was just taking her to school one day. When she was 13, she just said, Dad, I just finished my first novel. I almost fell out of the car because she's the last person I would think is writing a book. Okay, I'm a book guy, but she has been more into entertainment type of thing, doing videos about dancing. So I didn't think she was a writer. So I was so flabbergasted. Then, now when she finished, she now told me she only had one chapter, that she was thinking about how to kill the lead character. That she feels that, so I was not saying don't kill the lead character. That I was not telling her about Harry Potter and co. That listen, that character that you created, figure out a way to prolong it, because you might end up having a series, because it's not so easy to get a good character. Okay, that if this your first book hits, then you have a series you can run. So she thought about it. She argued initially, but if not, say okay, she will. So she ended the first book basically putting the lead character, who's another young girl, a 15-year-old child, in a mental sanatorium, because this is about a child with parents with mental problem. At one point, I thought she was talking about me, but she reassured me that it's not you, Daddy. I'm like, okay. Anyway, she put that child ended up in an asylum. So when she was trying to write the second book, she was struggling with how to break that child out of the asylum to start the second follow-up. But I couldn't reach. I was trying to help her out, but she wasn't. I thought she wasn't listening to me. But apparently my level was too high or too different from what she wanted. She never wrote anything for 4 months. She said she couldn't. So our cousin now visited just these 2 months ago, less than 2 months, when this holiday started, which is about a month plus. So our cousin from Dallas, who is the daughter of my junior sister, came in from Dallas. They are about the same age. I think I was older by like 3 or 4 months. So came in to visit. And then, so while we were eating one day, I just complained about that. Your friend has been trying to do second book since that. It's been 6 months. She has never been able to write one chapter. Guess what? After that, we talked, and then they're always in the same room. They stayed in the same room, so they're always doing their thing, always having fun. I went to Atlanta, about less than a month ago. While I was in Atlanta, they told me, I was speaking to both of them. They said, the cousin was not saying, we are writing the book now, that Daddy, she's writing. Guess what? By the time I came back, I was there for 6 days. By the time I came back, she had almost finished the book. And now she has finished it in less than 2 weeks to buttress what we are saying. So I said, what happened? Apparently, the cousin was able to explain to her in a way that helped her to overcome the writer's block about bringing that girl out of the asylum. to prove what you just said. But I didn't know that. Now that you have said it out now it makes sense. So guys, what Prof just said is that peer pressure, peer learning is something to encourage, especially if your children have good friends. Of course, you have to monitor the friends, obviously, or if they have an elder in the house, maybe you have a child, then another one that's just 2 years difference. You want to encourage them to do stuff together. Prof, is that what did I explain it well? What you just said?
Absolutely. I'm almost moved
Yeah.
because distribute this knowledge to every parent.
Yes, I am.
Frustration, teenage rebellion, teenage pregnancy, all the things that we think is demonic. It's not. It's just communication. I'm blessed that she has such a cousin in Dallas, because there are many more things like that when it comes to modeling, role modeling. That is why you saw in my case, the eldest girl seemed to achieve less because she didn't have a role model. She didn't have any positive influence.
Okay, that's true.
Meanwhile, the younger ones appear to have done better. It's not because the formula was being refined, it's because the formula was not executed for the first one. It is sad. That is they call them the anointing on the first one. That's what every parent on this call, every uncle on this call, every auntie on this call, please, it doesn't matter whether you see them in the mosque, in the synagogue, in the church, it doesn't matter. Take ownership. Because if you make an impact in a child's life, that child will never forget you.